To be fair, I think after tonight's drive home, I think that was what was going through my head. I don't know if you had the same sort of troubles. I know. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Hello, hello. How's everyone's days been? How's your day been, Tom? Yeah. Well, how's your day been? Yeah. He did. I was going to ask you about that at some point during the stream. As a Spurs fan, how do you feel? Yeah. Would you want Poch back right now? Yeah. Hmm. It's been. Oh, hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me check this thing out. You have. Must have been good. Audio sharing is all good. Is it in the parties? Please let us know if that changes. Bear with. I've not changed mine. Always allow in the thing, so bear with me. Let me just have a little look back on the stream, Tom. Hold with.
How about now? I'm gonna keep talking. You let me know if you can hear me.
But you know.
You should be able to hear me now. Can you hear me? Am I being heard? Yeah, good. Yeah, Nick says it's all good. Whew. God, that would have been unprofessional if we fucked that up. Oh, wait a minute. Um, cool. Aaron, can you hear me? Because you've gone
Of
silent,
course.
buddy.
Yep, I can hear you. I was just trying to watch the stream back to see if I could hear you on the stream. So we're
Boom.
all good. If you can hear both of us, just drop a little note in the chat.
Nick's already done it. Nick's ahead of you. He's already done it.
Boom.
Well done, Nick.
Nick's done that and he's added kisses. I'm all in for that.
Right. By the way, as you're commenting, Nick, they were just slagging you off a fair bit in the Discord there about your chances for tonight. Any comments?
Yeah, how do you feel about this, Nick?
Come on, let us know. Because I thought it was unfair. Anyways, we'll await that response eagerly. Looks like we're going to be getting ready to head off to the Hungary ring very shortly. Have you raced the Hungary ring much? I mean,
I've not had much experience with it, although I know it's quite a grippy circuit, to be fair. Although,
grippy.
Yeah, I find it quite grippy. Although I can see a lot of people coming unstuck with having potentially a lack of patience. The last two turns, you've got to be almost very, very patient on towards the end, and then there's that deadly chicane with almost like a curb with an additional sausage curb on top of it. So you take too much of it and it really unsettles the car. So
yeah,
I haven't had much experience, but
see, the chicane I don't find too bad around here. It's the turn before the chicane that can really screw you up if you're not concentrating throughout the whole lap, or as you get maybe a little bit longer into the race and you just have that little lapse of concentration. It really doesn't take much to, accidentally put a wheel on that curb whilst putting the power down, and then that's it. You're gone, and there's barriers either side of that one, and that could ruin your race. I was going to say we need to come up for a little name for that because I think that's good enough to warrant a name, just like Slut Corner has a name on Bahrain.
Oh, I think we can. I think we'll find one at some point soon. I think that'll become apparent.
I think when it happens, we'll come up with a name. When someone makes a mistake there, that's when you'll go, that's something corner, because that's the natural reaction. Do you feel me? You get what I'm saying?
I'm digging that. And I think we should be joined very, very shortly by Trem, who's our interviewee for the night, second Red Bull driver. And he's going to be joining us for get his take on the circuit as well. But Darren Jacobs in the chat has also just put lunch on me tomorrow at work if you get a podium, Mogi. So Mogi's going to be pushing hard out there in that Williams. So that'll be
Darren Jacobs, if you could,
see it.
I'd love to see it. If you could just elaborate for us, what we're talking about here. We're talking about, Greg sausage roll, or are we getting an Uber Eats in? What's at stake here? Because if it's just like a Mackey's or something like that, then don't push yourself too hard. But
I mean, for me, it would all depend on the pressure of what lunch are we talking here. I mean, for us, it's
Oh, okay. Hang on. This comment has just come through from Nick. I can't read all of it because they pop up on my screen and wrote too much. I do like the first line though. A lion doesn't something. It's gone.
A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions from the sheep. I'll let Drivers' Championship do the talking.
He's getting on it there.
How we doing, Trem? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. What's your plan for the evening? Nick's giving it the big one now.
I've just got to beat him now, haven't I?
Do you have
let Granty win.
Yeah, that is the plan, is it?
Yeah.
See if you can help Granty out and go from there. Take that constructors.
Yeah. Hungary, I'm not fast round at all, so I'll just wait for people to pick up penalties and crash out and scrape through.
Yeah, so you're going to play the patience game in Hungary and then look for a result in Canada?
Well, I won't be looking for a result in Canada either because I hate it.
So theoretically, rounds 9 and 10, are you almost writing off from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote off Australia and probably got my best points position there, so I'll see what happens anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not aiming for top 6 or top 7s or anything, so let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I think have you sort of got yourself a decent setup for the circuits tonight, or are you just going to see what happens and roll with it?
I had what I thought was a good setup, and then I went on and I think I was 9 tenths down, so I tweaked the wings a little bit, and I seem to be matching my time from previous. So
Yeah.
I think.
No worries. Well, I can see you're just coming round into the final couple of turns, so we'll let you crack on and get that first hot lap in there. And good luck for tonight's racing. We hope you have a good one, and see you on the other side.
Yeah, no worries.
And Tom, big news. Darren's just dropped it in the chat. It's going to be an Uber for Mogi if he gets on the podium.
Man. That opens up a world of possibilities.
So
I'm following Mogi round now. He's going to be one of the first people to set a lap along with Osborne. So far, Osborne has beat him. Butters then goes ahead with a 1:15.825. James Punt setting the quickest now, 1:15.7. Drivers going to be setting these times thick and fast, so we'll try and keep up with them. Albert's gone slowest so far, but I think that's probably going to be on the medium tyre, because he does tend to try and do the first lap on the medium tyre.
Yep.
That's right, we've picked up on these little habits. We're getting used to it now. We know how it works.
Yeah, and I can only assume that Grant
And
may
Mogi's
also
done it on
be
the
out
medium tyre as well, as has Patterson, so a lot of guys trying to run on this medium tyre so far.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a medium tyre sesh at the start. They like to do that at the start and then push it at the end. We've sort of noted over the past couple of weeks, so we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely. Word to Patterson as well. He was unsure about this evening. He's been through the wars a little bit, but he's made it. What a champion, what a trooper.
He has. Doctors have advised him not to drive, so we'll see how he gets on.
NUFC fan Liam going quickest then so far with a solid lap there. Almost 8 tenths quicker than James Punt in second place at the moment. Half the field now have set their laps. Chatty Duck getting the slowest time so far, but again on the mediums. Wolsey with a 1:16.9 on the softs. Work to do there for the Alfa Romeo driver. Loads of drivers still out, of course, making their way around the track. We've got Butler as well, who's out on a hot lap at the moment. One of the drivers we expect to see up there at the end of this race. We've got Grunty Boy setting his lap at the moment as well. He's setting his lap on the mediums. Butler has gone out on the softs, so this could be a very quick lap from the Williams driver indeed. We'll stick on board with him then as he heads around the last 2 turns. So this is the 2 turns you were talking about, Aaron.
Yeah, you've just got to have a lot of patience. It's almost fourth gear, early upshift, and then drop it down a couple of gears as well from this last corner here, and have as much patience as you can just to get on the power at the right time towards the end there. Too much power too early on in that corner, and you're going to either chuck the car wide on the exit or just end up lighting the rears up and spinning it round. So you just got to watch that torque steer in those last 2 turns.
So he does set a 1:15.5, which is good enough for third place at the moment. Joseph Morados getting above him with a 1:15.2. So the time of 1:14.9 for MUFC fan Liam's looking good at the moment. We're about to see Granty Boy come round the final 2 turns and set his first lap on the mediums. We'll see where he's going to end up, the current championship leader, it should be said. So eager to see what he can post here. And he's gone pole so far, provisional pole, with a 1:14.8 on the medium tyre as well. Wow.
Yeah, I just noticed I was riding on board with him there, talking of those last couple of turns, and I don't know if you were riding on board with him at the point he did it, but coming round the final turn, you're hanging it in 3rd gear, he upshifted twice, got to 5th gear, and really got the traction drive off of the final corner there. So, little trick in the book there, and there's a yellow flag, sector 1, looks like Pressing Mixer.
Pressing Mixer is off, and he's actually gone off at turn 1, which is somewhere that I regularly actually go off when racing this circuit. I think you get a bit overzealous going into that turn 1 because you've got the long start finish straight, and sometimes you can be just a little bit too eager to get the power on, and it is very easy to spin it at that point. So I can see how Pressing Mixer has done it. Luckily he has put a time in though, so he's not going to be stone cold last on the grid at the moment if that time holds up, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out for him. We've got Lawson, who's currently setting a hot lap at the moment. One of the drivers yet to put a lap in. So his McLaren teammate currently second with a very impressive time on the softs. Lawson also gone out on the softs. We will keep an eye as he makes his way round the end of Sector 2 here. I mean, the track itself is a very satisfying one once you hook it up, because it is quite technical, especially in that second sector. You've got obviously the tricky little chicane and a couple of really tight turns, and then you've got the sweeping turns that follow at the end, really. As I say, this
Yeah, I mean,
long left-hander and then the long right-hander straight away afterwards.
it's a difficult one to set up for as well. Looking at, you've got that long start-finish straight, and you've got a couple of fairly decent straights chucked around in that circuit. It's very similar to Canada in that respect of you want to have the wings set just right so you've got decent cornering pace, but you don't want to inhibit yourself down the straights, especially, you've got that one in Canada, the back straight is quite a length. Really, so you don't want to inhibit yourself down there, but it's so difficult to get stability on the car at the same time in the twisties.
In the twisties. James Punt currently out on a hot lap, currently sitting fifth with a 1:15.7, looking to improve his time round here at the moment. He's just making his way round into Sector 3, so we'll stick with him and see if he can go any better. He's just got set a fastest Sector 2, 3/10 quicker than his previous time so far. So if he can hook it up here in the last sector, he's possibly going to look at moving up to fourth or third, I should think. We'll wait and see as he comes around the final turn. Just getting enough onto that curb, make sure he doesn't invalidate the lap, and he does go fourth. So solid lap there from the Mercedes driver to get himself further up the order currently. We've still got 3 drivers who are yet to set a time. Wheeler is one of those drivers, and Wheeler is in the AlphaTauri on the softs, and he's heading round Sector 2 as we speak. So again, right on board with him. Had a great battle last week with Trem, who we were just speaking to. Wonder if that will continue into this week.
Yeah, that was cracking. That one, it was good to see those guys going at it.
It was amazing.
Hopefully, hopefully we'll see something from them this week as well.
I think it was both races, wasn't it? Because they then finished next to each other in the first race, so then started the next race next to each other.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And it was like a whole evening of these two going at it. But let's see where they end up for the first race. So Wheeler's just about to come across the line, puts himself straight away into the top 10. That's good enough for 9th at the moment, is a 1:15.8. His teammate ZGS yet to set a time as well, so he needs to get out, although typically does like to be a late qualifier. Don't know why.
He does like to leave it towards the end of the session.
Want to leave it towards the end.
I'm expecting a little bit more maybe from Chatty Duck from this session here, 1:16.7. I think, that Ferrari needs to find a little bit more pace. It'll be interesting to watch him, however, in retirement from Trem as well.
Trem.
I think that's in the pit lane. I think he's calling it a day there with one run.
He did say he's not confident round here. True to his word, if that's the case. But
I think
maybe he's going to let it all happen on the race. Yeah.
But Chatty Duck, once again, he's a Canadian driver, so we're going to be watching him on his what you class as his home circuit, I guess, in the next round.
Sorry to interrupt there. Aaron Patterson's just gone quickest so far, 1:14.8. Very close indeed, but when you consider Granty Boy is on the medium tyre, you do get the impression that he is going to have a bit more to give. I mean, I don't know, maybe he feels he can go quicker on the medium. If that's the time he's got to beat, you might even see him attempt a lap on the medium tyre, or maybe even just stick with that time and stick with second. It all depends what happens in the last couple of minutes here in Hungary. Should be said, we have only got 6 and a bit minutes left to go, 6 minutes 45. So guys are going to be trying to get their next laps in and maybe squeeze in one more if they feel like they make an error or make a mistake. We've got Butler who's coming around the final turn now. He looked like he improved slightly from his last lap, and he does. He goes up to 5th to join his Williams teammate Mogi, who's in 4th. We've also got Mogi coming round as well, or he's just started a flying lap, I should say.
You can smell that subway. If you're watching Darren, he can smell it.
You get an Uber? Would you go to Subway? I don't know. I mean, if it was my choices in Colchester, it would have to be, I don't know, maybe Taco Bell, yeah. Taco Bell's amazing. I haven't had it in so long.
Taco Bell or Five Guys? Can't really.
See, Five Guys if you were eating it in. Chatty Duck answers with a 1:14.5, straight away beating Patterson's time by 3/10. So good work there from the Canadian driver. So far, it's looking like Granty Boy is going to have to get out and maybe do a lap on the softs then if he wants to take pole. It's just whether or not he wants to take pole or maybe just wants to get the position moves done on the track. But no, it looks like he has fit a set of softs and will be coming out again, I believe. So we will keep an eye on his time once he gets round onto that hot lap. Other drivers currently running a flying lap. You've got Albert, who's slung the softs on. He's going to set a time on the quick tyre here. We'll ride on board with him because we expect him to rocket up the order now he's got those softs on.
Yeah, had a lot of guys there who were almost either on a flying lap or a cool-down lap, and they've sort of just abandoned and got into the pit lane just to try and grab themselves a fresh set of tyres. Albert going quick in Sector 2, though, setting fastest Sector 2 time.
Yep, I reckon it's going to be a bit of traffic to contend with as well in these last couple of minutes here, so we'll try and keep up with everything that happens as it happens, but it may be difficult to. I don't think it's going to be a particularly quick lap from Albert. We'll see where he comes across the line. It's going to be third. Okay, I'll eat my words then. It's going to be level.
Equal to P2, exactly the same. Look how tight that is.
Very tight indeed. So, Ruggs Boy definitely going to have to get out again if he wants to get himself on the front row and take pole position. We've got James Punt again out on another flyer. He's gone a tenth quicker in the first sector than his quickest time so far. Sector 2 coming up, and he's only 500ths up now, so he's lost a bit of time in Sector 2. Can he hook up Sector 3 and get himself back? How's the straight TV pod camera possible? Ooh, wouldn't you like to know, Seb Bauer? 1 minute, we'll finish this lap and I'll tell you. He's going to come across the line. 1:15.1 gets him up to 7th, so some improvement there for James Punt. Are you talking about how I can see the front wing? Because if it's like that, I'm using TV pod offset and then I've modified it. There's a video on YouTube. Some Irish guy put it up there. I'll put a little link to it in the chat for you, so you can have a little play with those settings. But yeah, it's a nice little view. I like that view.
Commentator for MRS Esports League, a league that we support here at SlyDog. We enjoy watching their streams, and we had that league battle against them, which was a cracking evening. To be fair, it was good fun.
We've got to do that again.
Another one of those. Hopefully, another one to come soon.
So one driver who hasn't set a time yet was Willis, and you remember from earlier in the stream we were talking a lot of shit about the beef going on between Willis and everyone else, and he's going to set his first time here. We'll see if he can beat Trem's time, because that's where I think the battle lies here tonight. Trem's saying that he needs to beat Willis, so let's see where Willis comes out here. Come on, you can do it, Nick.
And along with Nick, we have ZGS on the track now, just coming round on his out lap on the medium tyre as well. He's qualifying, so a late qualifying lap and on the medium tyre. So that could be quite an interesting feat there for him. But let's see where Nick ends up, shall we?
We shall see as he comes around the final turn here. He wants to beat Tremor, 1:17.1 to beat, and 1:17.2. So work to do. Work to do. He's going to have to jump back into the pits if he wants to get a fresh set on very quickly. I don't think he's going to get another flying lap in all honesty. So good try from the Racing Point driver there, but not quite.
You see, unfortunately, it also looks to be one of the Mercedes then. 12th position, Lana Cam, who's out on circuit as we speak. He'd had a couple of really consistent weeks. At the minute, doesn't seem to be pressuring that anywhere in the top 10 at the minute with a 1:15.7. So it'll be interesting to watch him. He could be one to watch during the race, to be fair.
I think he's actually gone a bit slower on this lap. No, he does move up a tiny bit, so he goes up to 11th. Good lap there from the Mercedes driver. Mogi's out on a flyer, and I've got to say, Mogi, I think his sector time just come up as almost a second quicker. I don't know if that was a little glitch on the game, but if he is gone a second quicker, that's ridiculous, because that's like 1:13s we're talking about there, but we'll keep an eye on him. Should we say Granty Boy is just head off on his flying lap as well, so we'll keep up to date with that as and when we get him a bit closer to the end of his lap, because that's going to be the lap to watch to see if he can crack pole on these guys.
He sets fastest sector 2 as well, as we say that.
Yeah, he's going well. He's got to hold it together now through sector 3. If he wants to get himself maybe on the front row here, or maybe onto the second row at least. So far, looking pretty tidy through there. As he comes across the line here, will he make it? He puts himself second so far. So first row for the Williams driver. Brilliant lap there from Mogi. It should be said everyone else is out on a flying lap as well. We've got Patterson, Albert, Granty Boy on a flying lap as well. Albert was going very quick there again, I think it's a little glitch on the
Patterson
game.
invalidating that last lap just as we see it. So we won't get a chance to get around and get another lap in. So it looks like he will be sitting on that 114.
Now, Granty Boy is just about to come across the line here as he goes around the final turn. It's been a quick lap so far. Was keeping an eye on his sector times. I think this is going to be pole. We'll keep an eye on it. Yes, it is. It's going to be pole by 3/10 for Granty Boy so far. It should be said, Chatty Duck is on a flying lap though, so he does have the chance to respond here. He's coming around the final couple of turns now in sector 3. So we'll stick on board with the Ferrari driver. We'll see if he can keep it tidy through these last couple of turns and try and beat his 1:14.5, but he's got 1:14.2 to beat if he does want to find himself on pole. Will he get it done? Oh, it's so close!
So tight!
So tight indeed! This is the tightest it's been since we've been commentating on this league. A 1:14.23 as opposed to a 1:14.22. So there's literally, what, 100th of a second in it?
Yeah.
A couple of thousandths? Yeah, it's crazy. So brilliant lap there from Chatty Duck, well deserved of second position. And again, Granty Boy just showing he's got the class even when it is tight to just get on pole. And you've got to say it builds up to an interesting race, doesn't it? Now we've had it this tight in qualifying.
It does, it really does. It's going to be a great one to see. Look how tight that is up the top there. So I think that is exactly how it's going to stand.
Yep, most guys are either in the pits or finishing. I think Willis actually might be on a flyer, so...
he was just cutting the grass from what I saw
there. Okay, he's invalidated, yeah. No. Okay, so he did manage to get above Trem, though. I have noticed he put a 1:17 flat in. So he will start ahead of Trem.
Oh, that's a...
rivalry.
That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but I think meanwhile we should probably just run you through the top 10 as they stand there in the grid. So we have Granty Boy will be taking pole position here in Hungary. Chatty Duck alongside him on the front row of the grid. Second row you see Mogi and Ethan Patterson in the Renault, and just behind them we have Albert in his Racing Point and Liam in the McLaren. Back 7th is Osborne, P8 James Punt, followed by Butler in P9, and rounding out the top 10 Joseph Rados, who we could see quite an interesting race from.
Yep, so very close between really the top 5 there, half a second in it. So going to be a tight race, I think. Are you about to say what I think you're about to say?
You know what I'm about to say. I think, is it time to enjoy some beer chat tonight?
Oh, you've done enough teasing. Let's get it done, boy.
Come on then, what you got?
All right, so for tonight, I have got... Oh, you have to bear with me because I'm actually recovering. I'm currently icing a knee, so to do anything this evening is a bit of a struggle. Right, I've got a Mad Goose. Mad Goose by Purity Brewing Company. Now, this is one of them ones where I've picked it purely because it's got a big angry goose on the bottle, and that's the only reason why I've picked it. It's a premium pale ale, 4.2%, so nothing too drastic, and you know it's it's all right. It's not gonna, I'm not gonna go out and rush out to buy another one. It's tasty enough as a beer. It doesn't, it's not got these funky flavours that I've gone for recently. None of this sort of tropicalness or berryness or anything like that. It's just a straightforward pale ale, and yeah, it makes a change for me. And it's nice and cold out the fridge. I'm drinking it out of the bottle. I have no idea how it looks. I normally like to pour mine. It comes from Warwickshire. I don't know if that makes any difference at all. But yeah, no, you could have 3 or 4 of these quite comfortably, I would say.
I myself have gone for a Sea Fury. It's made by Sharp's Brewery in Cornwall. It's just a casual. It's a 5% special ale, is what they class it as. I'm going to say exactly what you said there. I'm not going to rush out and buy another one necessarily, but it's nice. It's got like quite a berry hint to it.
Ooh, okay.
Like almost like dark berries. So it's nice. It's quite refreshing. That's what I'm going to go with. But I mean, as far as a review on it goes, I just picked it for the name, really.
Yeah.
But, I'd say I'd give this one a 5. It's
5?
just a standard. It's a standard beer. It's not bad. It's not saying massive things.
No. I'm going to go for a 6 for a Mad Goose because it's Yeah, it tastes a lot stronger than it actually is in terms of 4.2%. So I think it gets the best out of what it's got going for it. And I've got to say it's quenching my thirst this evening. So it gets a 6 from me, just above average.
So back to the racing, shall we? Here we are on the formation lap.
So
as we said, we've ran through the grid. I think the pit strategy for this race will be soft to medium or soft to hard. Looking at the tyres, though, we can see most drivers on the softs. However, D. Lawson in the McLaren starting P12 running medium tyres, and ZGS23 running P16 has chosen the hard tyres. So an interesting choice there. He's going to look to go for the duration, I think.
now, did he set a lap, or did he not set a lap at all during qualifying? He must have set a lap. He's 16th.
He did set a lap. He's starting P16, but he's gone for the hard tyre, so maybe not the sort of lap he wanted to set in that qualifying session. And Nick seemingly ran out of fuel on the last corner. Oof, don't want to be doing that.
Tough.
Don't want to be doing that. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Right, well, I'm looking forward to the start because you've got a fairly long run down here to turn one, and we've already seen one driver, just put the power on a little bit too much coming round that first turn, because it is a deceivingly long turn. You've got to be really patient before you slam the power on, because after that turn you have got the second DRS zone as well, and it's only a very short one. So it gives you the impression that you've got to get the power on quick and you've got to get out there quick to make the most of that DRS zone, but you can really screw yourself over by thinking that. So we'll be very cautious to keep an eye on what happens at that area tonight. And of course the other area to keep an eye on, turn 5, the yet to be named slack corner of this race. But we'll see how
yeah,
that
exactly.
progresses.
So if anyone has got a name for that corner, please feel free to sing it in the chat. We will gladly receive that. But here we are then, Tom. Get yourself ready, because I think we're about to see those 5 red lights.
Oh, I'm a ready boy. Right, lights are heading on, and we are awake here in Hungary. Straight away, the game is glitching like crazy. Granty Boy's dropped down the order, but we can clearly see on the screen that he is currently in the lead. Chatty Duck side by side with him, almost heading into turn 1. Patterson trying to make a move on the outside of Chatty Duck, and Albert getting involved in the fun as well. But it looks like Patterson has got the move done on Chatty Duck. Chatty Duck seems to be ghosting there, so maybe a connection issue. But Patterson moving up the inside of the Ferrari driver there, coming into turn 2, and looks to have got the better of him heading into turn 2 as they head down into the aforementioned corner. Granty Boy still leading here on lap 1. We've then got Patterson followed by Albert now, who's taken position number 3 from Chatty Duck.
First DNF, second DNF.
Oh, NUFC fan Liam and Osborne. Oh, that's going to be a tense room.
That is, isn't it?
What happened
I didn't
there?
see what happened there at all. I see
Completely missed that.
It was quite far back
So
down the order.
Yep.
Yeah,
safety car should be said as well. So that's not even the corner we were worried about. That's before the corner. That's before turn 5, as you can see on your screens. They've just disappeared off the mini-map. So that was the quite fast left-hander after that mini little straight there that you head up the hill, and then you get ready for the corner yet to be named. So
worthwhile mentioning as well, look at Trem. He's currently running P11 after all that chaos in that one. And we have a couple of cars coming into pit lane, Joseph Rados being one and Wheeler being the other. And there's
loads
a couple
of cars,
of them as
tons,
well.
yeah.
Of people coming in.
Do you spy some sandbagging from Trem there?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. He wasn't showing massive amounts of confidence, but...
So, just to be said as well, that's now like 3/4 of the field that have pit during this safety car. So everyone feeling they can maybe sling the hards on, I should think. Let's have a little look and see what everyone has gone for. A fair mix, actually. A couple of people on the hards, a couple of people have gone for the mediums, thinking they can see it out on this race. Obviously, the hard guys will have the tyre advantage towards the end, but certainly the mediums will have the pace advantage for the majority of this race. And Granty Boy is on the mediums as well, and somehow find himself on first. No, he has dropped down the order now. So now we have Mogi leading on the softs, James Punt and Trem also on the softs, and then the next guy on the mediums was Lawson, I believe. So Lawson now finds himself essentially in the net lead when it comes to pit stops.
Yeah. Oh, Lawson, however, has yet to
Oh, yeah,
pit.
it hasn't stopped. Sorry, and
He
ZGS hasn't
started
stopped
on the
either. So
mediums.
Granty Boy's
So
still
the
in the lead.
first,
I was wondering how
yeah,
that worked.
yeah. Grant did stop. ZGS started running on the hards. So he's got a bit of a job to do now that everyone's had
So
the chance to dive into the pit lane. So.
comment from Osborne: rear-ended by a Williams. So
Oh dear.
very
And
much.
looking at that, we've looked maybe Butler, I would assume, has dropped further down the order than you'd have expected from where he was.
So possibly,
Down
yeah,
4
Butler
places.
needing to get in and get the wing change. That would make sense with that one. Looks like the safety car is going to be heading round on another lap, so don't worry, we're not missing anything at the moment. I don't know if we're going to see the first leading couple of drivers get into the pits. Nope, they're all going to stay out. They've made their beds, they're going to lie with it. Obviously, it might have been a good idea to get the pit stop done early days here, but we will see how that plays out. Willis
sure
decides to
there's
get into
plenty
the
more.
pits at the back of the order, though.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of drama left to come in this race here, so it doesn't surprise me that Mogi stayed out on those softs. And equally James Punt as well. So we'll see what happens on the restart.
So should be said, just looking at the big movers around us. So we've got Trem, who finds himself from 18th on the grid, now currently running in a podium position because of this safety car. But it's not just because of the safety car. He did have a cracking start, didn't he? He got up to 11th.
He did. He went from pretty much the back of the grid up to P11, so he's not going to lose out too much on that. As we see just on the track map there, Nick just trying to catch up to the rear of the pack. He's going to try and catch up as quick as he can because I can see that safety car probably coming in this lap.
I should think it will be coming in this lap, Aaron. I think it would be a bit cheeky if it stayed out for a bit too much longer. So expect the safety car in at the end of this lap then. Again, another tough one to get right on the restart because you've got a long turn just before the start-finish line. So it's deciding when to go. Do you wait until you're maybe squared up and ready
Very
to go?
similar.
Or do you try and speed off halfway through the corner?
It's tough. It's similar to Zandvoort in a sense, isn't it? You've got that long right-hander just before the start-finish straight, and we saw Butters make a mistake there a few weeks back. He lit the rears up on the restart and spat it into a wall. So Mogi backs him up now.
Mogi's going to be leading the restart. Safety car is heading in. You can see him just backing up and giving the room for the safety car to get into the pit lane. We'll await the green light then before he decides to speed off and get this race going once again. Looks like he's head off straight away. He's gone early before that corner has even begun, and he looks to have maybe got the jump there on James Punt. Trem is also a little bit slow to react there, it seems, because he's a little bit further behind James Punt than we maybe expect. But Mogi leads us heading into turn one on the restart of this race. Obviously yet to pit. Granty Boy gains a position on ZGS, who has pit in for the medium tyres as Granty Boy. So he has completed his mandatory pit stop in this race. We have another move. Patterson now getting the move done on ZGS. ZGS, not a great restart from him. He's lost 3 places so far off this safety car restart. So work to do for the AlphaTauri driver, considering he hasn't pit yet either.
Sense of battle coming on here. You've got Grant trying to work his way through the field now with Albert right behind him and Ethan as well. So the 3 of them all absolutely going for it now to try and get themselves, to the front of the order. And the guys following Grant are thinking anything you can do, we can do better. Let's have at it. So some exciting racing to come, I think.
And yeah, the key for Grant here will obviously be to try and get ahead of this little pack in front of him as quickly as possible, so then he can try and extend a lead over the guys behind him. Because obviously they've already pitted the guys behind him. It's these guys who's going to want to use as traffic maybe to extend his lead in this race and really cement the victory. So he'll be trying to get ahead of Lawson as quickly as possible. We'll see him on the main straight here trying to use a bit of a slipstream. DRS not enabled just yet, but it looks like he's going to go late into the corner there, maybe try and get it done up the inside. Side by side heading out of that corner, so we'll see who braves it out into turn 2 here. Granty Boy does seem to be that little bit later on the brakes than Lawson and manages to take 4th place in the end. Patterson and Albert having a great battle here, riding on the rear wing with Patterson. You've got Albert trying to have a look up the outside, heading into this left-hander, but backs out in the end because it would have been a very dangerous move in that fast corner. But these 2 very quick drivers you expect to have a great battle And we've got Joseph Morados and Wheeler as well. There's a great 4-5-way battle going on there. And Wheeler's gone off at the chicane. We mentioned that would be a bit of a dodgy area, but it looks like Wheeler just maybe went a little bit too wide there on the exit of the chicane, and has unfortunately gone off, but no damage it seems. We'll keep an eye if he does have to head into the pits and get anything sorted there. Butler, who maybe was the Williams mentioned in the incident, obviously we don't know, and it's wrong for us to speculate, but he's now found himself in 11th position. So he's got some work to do to catch up to Joseph Morados, about a second and a half to make up. You've still got Patterson and Albert having their own little battle, and also Patterson challenging D. Lawson now as well, heading into turn one. Maybe has a little look up the inside, but decides to maybe back out there because it was getting a bit tight. He was closing that gap very quickly, Lawson.
Yeah, I think you can see Grant getting up ahead of Trem. Trem's obviously let his teammate through there, knowing the pit strategy difference. So Trem's let Grant go, and you can already see how much of a gap there is now between Ethan and Grant. And looking back, you've got Chatty Duck and Albert both joining in on the party. So expect to see some really exciting stuff here, because we've seen Chatty Duck trying to make some moves before, and he is very, very late and very quick on the brakes. So, Albert's going to be under a bit of pressure here.
So Chatty Duck following Albert as we speak. We saw a little bit of a lock-up there heading into the chicane, so just needs to keep it together. 3-second time penalty for Grant, so if Ethan Patterson can keep it going and try and clear this traffic as quick as possible and stay within track limits, he might be in with a shout here of taking a victory. Heads a little bit wide into the second to last corner, would have lost a little bit of time there, but if he can get the run on Lawson coming out of this corner, because Lawson sent it a little bit wide there, it all depends on how the exit goes. DRS has now been enabled, it should be said as well. Trem's head into the pits to finally take his pit stop, so one of the drivers who didn't pit under the safety car. Very late on the brakes there from Patterson. He's maybe gone a little bit too deep there, because I think Lawson is possibly going to take this position back. We'll see as they head down into turn 2. Ethan's going to have the inside line, and he does manage to hold on to the position, so good work there from the Renault driver. Now only the one position behind Granty Boy, but he's got to overtake James Punt to get there.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a difficult one. Grant is very, very, very... James Punt is can be very, very good at a defensive drive. We saw that in Holland. So we shall see exactly how defensive he can be. D. Lawson, meanwhile, picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Obviously, he's trying to go a bit defensive there, trying to hold his position from Albert, who is all over him like a rash as we speak.
Yep, and he's also got Chatty Duck for company as Albert, so this could very much turn into a 3-way battle as we head on to the main straight with all these cars going to have DRS, I should think. Actually, Lawson's outside of range, so Lawson might end up being a sitting duck here for Chatty Duck. Wow,
double ducking.
Double ducking. So we'll see as they head down the main straight here. We expect DRS for the Racing Point and the Ferrari drivers.
Yeah, we've just got a comment in the chat here from Liam Osborne. He's just had a little look through his footage there. It looks like Butler in the Williams was involved in the incident. It looks like there was just a slight little bit of contact. And then Liam is left nowhere to go other than into the side of Osborne. So we shall see how it all pans out, but it looks like there was just a bit of a racing incident potentially. But he said we go again in Canada, so not too disheartened by it. Meanwhile,
those boys won't have long to make their those boys won't have long to make it all up again, so hopefully they can come back strong in the next race. Meanwhile, Lawson runs wide again out of that corner, possibly opening the door here for a move from Albert, but he's really struggling to get past the McLaren driver, it seems. Riding on board with Chatty Duck, we just saw Albert lose a bunch of time there. Chatty Duck almost running into him, in fact, having to slam on the brakes a little bit to make sure it didn't happen. Maybe it's the hard tyre, he's maybe struggling with that a little bit. Obviously Lawson, I think, is on the hard tyre as well, if we just get that info up. No, he's on the medium. Chatty Duck seems to be pushing quite hard on this medium as well, so we shall see if a move can be done by either of these drivers, but Chatty Duck certainly looking very quick indeed. Just needs to maybe clear these two and he can maybe mount a charge. Albert sent it a little bit wide into corner 1, and that's allowed Chatty Duck to get alongside. He's going to have the pace advantage heading down into corner 2. Loads of lock up there. Yep, lock up there, I think, from both Albert and Chatty Duck, if that was seen right. But Chatty Duck does manage to get through in the end and does take fourth position from Lawson. So it should be said, Lawson with the time second penalty and still has to pit. So even if he can hold on, he's going to have to relinquish the position at some point. It's just how long will he hold up the Ferrari driver here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Grant looking very, very dominant out in front still. 8-second lead over Ethan now. So even with that 3-second penalty...
He's pulling out the gap, isn't he?
He's still pulling out the gap. It's every lap he's opening up, and he does currently hold fastest lap. So
Leonard Cam is getting a good look at Albert now as well. He's closed that gap down to half a second, and he's also got company from Joseph Morados. So and Butler as well getting in on the action. So we've got a train of about 5 or 6 cars that are all going to have DRS as we head down this main straight. So it's all going to be nullified, one cancelling out each other here. And maybe it's going to depend on who can get latest on the brakes into turn 1. We'll ride on the cinematic view with Albert then to try and catch any action that may be happening with a potential move on the Racing Point driver. All pretty clean through turn 1 at the moment, and Albert is doing well on those hard tyres to keep it all together there. The yellow flag has come out in sector 3, and that looks to be a Red Bull driver. That might have been Trem, or was that ZGS?
ZGS, I believe, AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri, sorry. So ZGS struggling with the second to last corner there. And Wolsey as well, it says, he's found himself down the bottom of the order, maybe struggling this track a little bit as well. Right, so Joseph Morados looks to be the closest to getting a move done maybe. He's right on the rear end of Landercam there. He's just got to find the space really to try and get a move done because he's got traffic in front of him as well. And the DRS isn't going to be much help because, as we say, they are all in a bit of a train at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to cancel each other out. It's all going to be on their fuel usage now and the use of that ERS mode, that
and the slipstream
system.
as well. I think the slipstream will play a part. Obviously, Albert maybe not going to get the best benefit out of that. Well, I don't know. He's still got Chatty Duck in front of him.
100%. But if you've got a little bit, if you've worked your fuel right and you've got a good power to weight ratio going on there, using that energy button, using that that charge that you save up throughout a lap. If you've saved enough of that, then this is the perfect time to be using that to try and gain an advantage on those straights.
Yep, so we'll just keep an eye on the pit stop situation. So it is just Lawson that's left to pit here. Everyone else has made their pit stops. Butler with a 3-second time penalty. So one of the drivers within this train of cars at the moment suffering a 3-second penalty. That's going to knock him down. Well, actually not that much far down because Pressing Mixer is 6 seconds off. So he's currently no worse than he was.
Hats off here to Lawson as well, though. He's driving a fantastic defensive drive here because Chatty Duck still looked ridiculously quick and is still yet
struggling to get around him.
Past him.
I mean, they're both on quite similar tyres. Obviously, Chatty Duck's medium tyres are newer by 2 laps, so it's not a major difference. And Lawson showing that he can keep up with one of the quickest drivers round in qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. He's had a cracking race here as David Lawson. So be exciting to see exactly how he finishes. Chatty Duck with the DRS still not enough to pass him, so didn't get that run down the start finish stretch there. Meanwhile, behind there's still the same battle going on. It looks like Joseph Morados has just got past Landercam.
Butler was having a look as well at the outside going into that turn. He's now going to turn that into the inside. I think there's a little bit of contact there between the Mercedes and the Williams driver, but in the end it's all stayed pretty clean as they head round into the beginning of sector 2 and round the aforementioned corner that hasn't taken many victims tonight.
No, you've been disappointed by that, I can tell.
I've been disappointed. I wanted more victimage from that corner, but never mind, maybe we'll get that. Just having a little bit further back as well, Trem and Willis having their own little battle side by side heading into the aforementioned yet to be named but possibly slut corner of Hungary. So good feisty battle going on between those guys there. Bragging rights up for a fight there, so keep an eye on that one towards the end, I think.
Yeah, as we just see Trem run a little bit wide as he comes down towards the end of sector 2, but
so Lawson has pit out in front. So he does relinquish his lead on, his lead, I say, is third position, which is a shame because it was a cracking defensive drive, but he has got to get off those tyres at some point. But fair play to Lawson there. He's done well.
So now Chatty Duck is unleashed with the DRS. So will he be able to make up that 4.8 second deficit to Ethan? That would be an interesting battle to see towards the end of this race with 5 laps remaining. Can he? He's going to do that?
He's going to have to pull out a second a lap, and I don't think he was that much quicker than Ethan in qualifying. So I can't see it happening in all honesty. But we will keep an eye on that time and see if it gets any more reduced than it is, of course.
The battle between Butler and Lanarkam is still persevering.
It's been a feisty one that as well, isn't it?
All over the back of him.
Absolutely. Obviously, Butler running a 3-second penalty, so even if he does take the position, he's going to have to relinquish it straight away back unless he can pull out a 3-second gap, which doesn't look likely because he's got a lot of traffic ahead of him.
Further back for the last spot in the points, currently occupied by B. Wheeler, although with a penalty. You see Mogi, James Punt, both on the rear end of Wheeler. So that's another battle that we've got going on in Sector 3.
Yep, so at the moment, obviously Mogi will take the last points position due to the penalties for Wheeler and for Butters as well, in fact. I think he might find himself possibly in 9th. If the penalty stayed true, and James Punt the same. But Mogi is going to try and make it inside. Doesn't mean an Uber, no. He's got to get that podium for the Uber. He's going to be jumping himself up into 11th. No, he's lost the position back, to Wheeler. So just a little bit wide.
Just getting the sweet switch back there on Mogi. So great bit of racing from Brian Wheeler there. Fantastic move.
Fantastic work to hold it all together, but the move isn't done yet. Butters now gets himself another 3-second penalty, so that is going to open the door for the guys behind him to score some points here this evening for their respective teams. Further up the order, we've got Joseph Murados, who's closing down a gap on Albert as well. Albert has now dropped 2 seconds to Chatty Duck, so possibly the podium just out of reach there for the Racing Point driver, but still fighting for a very strong 4th position here.
So it's very, very difficult to choose a driver of the day here because it's been an interesting race. There's been battles, but there's not been battles. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of positions made, but then equally a lot of really, really nice defensive driving.
See, it can be a very difficult track to overtake on because it's not the widest of circuits, and the turns actually aren't that accommodating to an overtake.
You do run a lot of risks going for a move in this race. So
Mogi does manage to get ahead of Wheeler, it should be said, heading into turn 1. Got the move done before the turn on this occasion, so no dramas there. James Punt also gets the move done on Wheeler, so Wheeler's starting to drop off quite heavily now. But that will see James Punt into the points because of Butters' 6 seconds penalty currently. Up ahead, Granty Boy has extended his lead now to almost 15 seconds over Patterson. He's not really got to worry about his 3-second time penalty. That won't have a negative effect on his race this evening. Joseph Murados is still trying to hunt down that 4th position though.
Yeah, it's he's putting the effort in, and to be fair, he's doing a really, really nice job of that as well. He's got past the pack behind him, and now he's caught all the way up to the rear end of Albert. And Albert is looking at it from Joseph's view. Albert is on the hard compound tyre, so
I mean,
moderately slower.
Well, I mean, now we've gotten to the tail end of this race. The hard tyre might just be coming into its own there versus the medium tyre, so you might see a sudden upturn in pace from Albert because you can guarantee the medium tyre may be starting to get towards the end of its ideal window in terms of wear.
Yeah, so that could obviously come into play.
Absolutely. So we're right on board with Joseph Murados for this lap then, as he hunts down what would be an impressive 4th position from starting 10th on the grid. So he's got 2 laps to try and get past Albert at the Hungaroring, which is notoriously a difficult difficult circuit to overtake at. Get my words out.
Struggling to get your words out there,
Oh, it weren't even. I'm like halfway through the beer, so I can't even use that as an excuse.
Meanwhile, we see Grant has pulled out a ridiculous 15-second gap at the front of the pack there. So
Slow down, boy.
You know, he does need to slow down. God, that boy is quick.
Right, so heading round the final turn here of lap 16 of this race, heading into lap 17, and the gap still sitting just over or hovering around that half a second mark for Joseph Morales. He's going to have DRS down here as well, so that gap should close up very nicely. He's going to want to get very late on the brakes.
Butler just looking for a move, sorry Tom, up the inside of Lanarkam there under the DRS zone. Couldn't quite get it done, but still that's another battle that is still persisting.
I think we'll keep an eye on both the battle for 6th and the battle for 4th, because that seems to be the closest ones on the track. Although you have got Butters, who's having a right good look at pressing Mixer, but you know Butters unfortunately serving a 6-second penalty at the moment, so that's not going to have too much of a bearing. And it should be said as well, Butler having to drop 3 seconds at the end of this race as well, so unfortunately that's not going to be quite the rewarding battle that we expect to see. But nevertheless, it should be a good battle indeed. Someone's gone off the track in Sector 2. I think that might be ZGS again, as we see the yellow flag come out in Sector 2. And I think that might have been a victim of the corner.
And yes, that is. It looks like retirement there on the inside.
Not retirement, he's got going again. It has got going again, so not quite retirement. But yeah, finally we saw a victim.
Is underway on the final lap here in the Hungarian Grand Prix. So it looks like, I'm going to say, Joseph Radoff won't get this move done on Albert.
No, he's got, you know, he's running out of time here, and the gap has been pretty consistent. You can see he's pushing hard, running a bit deep into these corners now, but that's only going to cost him time on the exit. So I think he's going to struggle unless we see possibly a mistake here from the Racing Point driver. But so far he's kept it very tidy on these final few laps, and you can see how hard Joseph Morales is pushing, trying to maybe force an error or just go for a bit of pure luck here, it seems.
And it looks like Grant is now just heading into the final turn of the circuit here, and he is going to cross the line to take victory here in Hungary.
So
Butler
solid,
picking up a 3 seconds.
He already had 3 seconds, so that's going to drop him further down the order, unfortunately. But Preston Mixer is 11 seconds behind him, so not too much to worry about there. The battle for 4th is coming to an end here. 1 corner to go. Albert just needs to keep it together here, and he is going to secure a very impressive 4th position from Joseph Mirados. Should be said, Patterson and Chatty Duck round out our podium here, but 4th and 5th go to Joseph Mirados and Albert and Joseph Mirados. It should be said in order, of course. Lanarkam 6th, Butler 7th. I don't think the penalties are going to be enough to relegate him down to 8th here. But Preston Mixer takes a fine 8th as well, gaining 7 positions during the race there. Good drive from the other Ferrari driver. Mogi now finds himself into 9th, and James Punt into 10th due to Butter's demotion on penalties. So, entertaining race there. Not that many moves to discuss. There wasn't, too many major incidents that we caught an eye on. But certainly, obviously, the mention there of the incident with Osborne and NUFC fan Liam involving Butler, and we'll maybe get eyes on that to discuss maybe next week or something. But it can't take away from what was a solid drive from Granty after a very, very close qualifying session. Maybe would have rocked him a little bit seeing how close it was. But no, brilliant work there, pulling out a 15-second gap. And Patterson and Chatty Duck as well. Chatty Duck had to fight to get into that podium position. Great battle with Lawson for a couple of laps. And Patterson done well to pull out the gap in the end and hold on to that 2nd place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a good think of it if we have a quick break now, but I'm going to have a good think of driver of the day there, because I would be inclined to go slightly different here and almost rock with D. Lawson as driver of the day. Purely, I know he didn't finish above his starting position, but purely from that defensive piece of driving we saw from him. I mean, I'm going to debate this.
I think me and you maybe debate this on the break, and maybe we'll come back with a decision, because it's a close one. I don't think you can discount Preston Mixer for his movement up the
100%
order.
not.
15th to 8th is a good race. And, same maybe could be said for the Lanarkam, 11th to 6th. Good race there.
And Joseph Rados, 10th to 5th. So.
Yeah, in terms of an entertaining drive,
If we just
Who
scroll
knows?
through the order, then how did that round out at the bottom there, Tom? Who are we looking
So
at? So obviously NFC
at the
family.
bottom, yeah, we saw the 2 retirements from the Haas and McLaren drivers at Osborne NFC family. ZGS rounding out the bottom, Wolsey, Willis, and then D. Lawson, who we just mentioned. So as we head into the break here, I think we're just going to take, as we said, a quick little break here, just refresh, crack the next beers open. Or in fact, I don't think I'm going to join you on the next beer because I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight and I can't really be drinking too much beer. So this
I'll
might
go
be
for a solo chat.
solo beer chat for the next one. But anyways, we're going to have a little 5-minute break and we will be back in 5 minutes because I said it's a 5-minute break. Cheers.
Indeed. Cheers.
Okay, so as you can see on the screen, drivers starting to ready up for the second race of the evening. We find ourselves now across the sea in Canada. Chatty Duck's home race, as you can see with his big, loud and proud Canadian flag there on the screen. Expecting
Loves a
big
Canadian
things.
flag.
Well, yeah, he's Canadian, I think. Yeah, expecting big things here from the Ferrari driver. No pressure. Right, we obviously had a little discussion in private about driver of the day, and I think we've come to the conclusion that we are going to give it to D. Lawson.
Yeah, fantastic defensive drive from him there. Entertaining, and although the pit stop did kind of mess him up a little bit, but it was a great, from what we saw there, to hold off some of the faster guys in the league. Fantastic drive.
So well deserved there from the McLaren driver. Normally for driver of the day, to be fair, we do look at track position. All wet race, we do look at track position and how much you've gained from the start. But in this case, no, we're going to go with who entertained us the most, and that was D. Lawson. So before we get cracking in this race then, Aaron, obviously you're going to do solo beer chat number 2 for this evening. So what else you got going on?
So the second beer of the evening for me, Tom, is called Pure Ubu. UBU. Pure Ubu. I'm going to put it in the chat because this is exactly how it's spelled. It's made by Purity Brewing Company, so the same brewing company that you had your first beer with.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So it's made in the heart of Warwickshire. And do you know what? They say it's a full flavoured amber ale, 4.5%.
Right.
But it's just to me. I'm not going to lie. It tastes a bit bland. In comparison to the Sea Fury. Yeah, I'm not rating it massively.
See, my experience with the Purity Brewing Company has been nothing but positive so far.
I mean, it's just a very standard amber ale, and for that reason, I'm going to go very, very quickly here because we are on the formation lap.
Wolsey's gone off on the formation lap, it should be said. But anyways, you're giving it a 4.
I'm giving it a 4. I'm being harsh now. So yeah, I think. But enough of this beer chat now, because we are underway here in Canada. I should have started that beer chat a little bit earlier. It is very, very wet.
We're not underway.
No, no. I just wanted to get your opinion on the circuit, really.
It's formation lap, mate. Sheet of ice out there, and look how shiny that is. This is full wet conditions, isn't it? They're not on inters.
It is. Most of the drivers running full wets. What are your thoughts on Canada?
You know what? I used to like it, and then I don't know. Last couple of times I've raced it, I say I used to like it because when I used to play like the early F1 games, I used to race this circuit a lot along with Monza for whatever reason. And I really liked racing around Canada. But then playing the recent F1 games, I've had a break following F1 for years and recently got back into it. And, I've really come to hate it.
Yeah.
It's just not actually that fun a circuit to drive. It's a bit repetitive. And, I just really don't like that hairpin that they're all coming around now. No one likes that, I think. I hate the exit out of it. I hate the long arse straight. I hate most of the chicanes, and I don't enjoy it. I think Frank Frediot has just got involved on the beer chat. What's he saying? He's like 7 Tiger drafts or whatever it was. Your favourite beer machine?
Ooh, you can't knock a Tiger. I think a Tiger goes down well with an Indian. Goes down very, very well with a curry.
I've had 7 draft Tigers from my machine and just finished a non-assist league. He's written league twice, so you can tell he's had 7 draft Tigers. It didn't go well. I didn't think it would, mate.
We've got Mogi in the chat there.
I can barely talk.
He should be second on the reverse grid, so I don't quite know where Mogi is. Mogi's currently lining up 9th on the grid. We'll see if there's any change on that.
There won't be any change. It's he's on the grid at 9th, but maybe that's something to keep an eye on once the race is finished. ZGS is going to be leading to get us underway here. Then we're just waiting for the red lights coming on your screen now. Then as we wait for them to go out in Canada, and we are away for the second race of the evening. Very tentative start from everyone there, getting used to the very damp conditions here expect a bit of carnage heading into these first couple of turns, I reckon, whilst people maybe try and push a bit hard. There's contact already on Woolsey and Willis, and then there's a sandwich there between Woolsey and a McLaren driver as well. So plenty of goings on early in this race. You've struggling to keep up with the field here, so we'll just wait for it all to get back into order on the screen. ZGS is your leader, although he's showing in 14th place at the moment. So ZGS looks to be leading from Trem at the moment. Safety car is out on lap 1. So safety car is out. I can't see anyone that's come off the track. There's no disqualifications or anything like that, no retirements. So a bit of an odd one there, but the safety car is out.
Yeah, I think it might have just been a bit of a... We'll have to wait for the...
5-second penalty for Albert and Patterson collision under the safety car. So another victim of the wet conditions, maybe?
Looks like, looking at the rear of the pack there, you've got Osborne there with a lot of damage to his front wing, end plates missing and all sorts. Albert with some front wing damage as well. Ethan looks to have his front wing intact. I
think that would have been Albert going into the back of Ethan to cause the 5-second penalty. Obviously, who the aggressor of that is, we don't know, but we'll find out, I suppose.
Looking at it, it's I don't know why that safety car is out at the minute. So we shall. I'm sure we shall see.
We'll find out very shortly, I reckon.
Frank, I'm going to offer it out to you if you still want to give that beer machine away because you're drinking too much and not succeeding in your league races. I'm always here for you, buddy.
Always happy to capitalise on someone else's bad habits. I say bad habits. I'm sitting there drinking a beer as well. Can't really complain.
Osborne picking up a penalty as well.
Yeah, no way. Osborne, Chatty Duck, Woolsey and Albert all come into the pits then to get their damage sorted as we head back out onto the track for these guys, making their way to catch up with the group. And I should think the safety car will be coming in on this lap because we can't actually see an obstruction on the track. So both quite a bit bemused as to why the safety car is out.
Oh, Frank said, no way, I'm buying another soon. Well, you know, Frank, if you fancy buying another one, ship it down this way.
Trying to pimp yourself out for a beer machine.
At least invite us for a beer. You know, that's, what's not to love about inviting us for a beer? I think you'd have a fantastic evening.
I think you'd be really
intellectual chat.
5-second penalty for... Patterson's not having a good one under the safety car. Another 5-second penalty for Patterson due to a collision under the safety car. This time, though, with Lannard Cam. So, not great work.
For both of those as well.
Now, is the safety car coming in? Please tell me it is. Nope, it's staying out for another lap. What the hell?
We've got another lap on the safety car. So you can see it almost looks... There's nothing. It just looks like Osborne maybe trying to catch the rear end of the pack. Maybe that is why we've got it out for another lap. We might have to just endure this one, ladies and gents. Endure it, and hopefully we won't have too many more.
Taken away from our race, man.
It is. But meanwhile, let me update you on the latest Premier League scores. So currently over on Sky Sports, you've got Liverpool playing Leeds. 72 minutes played, and Liverpool currently lead 1-0. Through a 31st minute goal by Sadio Mane. So, I'll take that really. Take what you can get in you.
Pro Super League or against it?
I'm against it.
Yeah, same.
I think it's a terrible idea. And to be honest, Jurgen Klopp, being a Liverpool fan, Jurgen Klopp has always, I said he's out of the discussion for it. But I would like to hope so. I would like to hope so, judging by the amount he had to say about the team's schedule last year and this year. So I would like to hope he's very much against that league. And there we go, Tom.
Safety car in this lap, so we can get back to focusing on the F1, because I'm not going to lie, watching these guys hit each other under the safety car was getting a little bit tedious. But we're getting back into it now, so ZGS is getting his tyres ready to get started. Another collision under the safety car. So Joseph Morados picks up a 5-second penalty for collision with Butters. Butters does not pick up the penalty, so you can only assume, unfortunately, that was Joseph's fault. ZGS just getting ready to get us back underway. I think he may have gone already, although the safety car isn't quite in yet. He's going into that corner at some speed. Got to hope his tyres will carry him through there. But looks like we are back underway and racing.
We are indeed. It looked ZGS played that restart very early there as well. I think he did sort of catch Trem off guard. He's pulled a 1.2 second lead on him.
Mogi has gained a couple of positions. Sorry, Joseph Morados has had to pit. That's why, because of the wing damage likely from his collision with Butters. So currently we've got ZGS leading Trem, leading Lawson, our driver of the day from the first race in Hungary. James Punt, however, has just made a move on the driver of the day from Hungary to take that third position. Just a view on board then with Lawson. He's got Wheeler who's just gone up the inside of him there, and you can just see how difficult it is out there for these drivers in the wet conditions, really struggling with traction out the corners. And of course you've got the addition of the spray as well, if you are following. Lawson really struggling now, loses the position to Willis as well, and really dropping down the order here.
I think he's ghosting. I think I saw him leave the session, so he's probably ghosting. He could be AI at the minute.
I think you're right, Aaron.
Meanwhile, look at Butler trying to have a go at the Renault. Butters on the outside. Butters drops it
Butter's going to send it deep.
The hairpin. Butler on the cutback. Is he going to get the exit? Not quite. So he can't quite get that power down.
No, he couldn't quite get the move done there, but we'll maybe keep an eye. Oh, safety car is out again. And I think that might have been, we don't know actually. Again, there's no one retired, no one off the track obviously that we can see. I mean, why?
Not 100% sure again. We seem to be getting a lot of safety cars here for no apparent reason, so we'll just have to bear with it and see exactly what happens.
Yeah, I hope it's not for 3 laps again, that's long.
Yeah, let's hope it's just the one lap. We've got one car in pit lane now, and that's Albert. So
Lawson has just messaged saying he needs an invite, so just bear with me. I'm going to try and see if I can invite.
I can do that, hang on. I'm all over it.
You got it? You're all over it? You do it, because I'm doing the stream, aren't
I? You are indeed.
So again, whilst we've got maybe 2 laps to discuss it, yeah, Super League, not a good idea, is it?
No, 100% not. 100% not.
I don't see how it benefits anyone other than the 6 clubs involved.
No,
from an English point of view, of course.
Let's be honest. They call it the top 6. Why are Arsenal involved? Why are they involved?
I'm happy to say it. Why are Spurs involved? I had this chat with someone at work, and we'd be relegation fodder if relegation was allowed in that league. You know, we wouldn't be able to compete, and we'd just be getting smashed every week. So why on earth we'd want to get involved in it? I mean, sorry, we know why we'd want to. Money. Daniel Levy has shown once again how, money comes above everything when it comes to the club. Sweet. And, that's my opinion of it.
There, Tom. Speaking of work, mate, it's looking nice and warm in the morning, and looks nice and sunny tomorrow, so I'm tempted to... I'm going to bring the bike tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting morning for me.
Lucky boy.
Forward to
safety car, we should say, isn't coming in, so don't worry, you're not missing anything, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, Frank Frennett, you've got plenty of time to go grab yourself another Tiger, mate. You go and enjoy. You enjoy. It's a good choice of beer, but I do feel it is very much suited to sort of...
It's a curry beer.
It's a curry beer. You go to an Indian, you either get a pint of Tiger or a pint of Cobra, one of the two.
Normally something like that.
It usually is one of the two. Speaking of which, we should definitely go for a curry soon when we can. That'd be mega. Meanwhile, we see Albert in the pits again.
Albert and Patterson in the pits. Yep.
Albert back in the pits.
You can only conclude that this is maybe the damage that's caused the safety car. We don't know. We haven't been able to keep up with the race too well because it keeps getting bloody interrupted by this bloody silver car.
I was just watching Albert's pit stop. He just slung on a fresh set of wets. There was no damage to be repaired at all. It would seem.
Well, if he was already back of the pack, then maybe it's just a case of, you know what, I've got nothing to lose here. Might as well get fresh tyres on and see what I can do.
So Nick is still up there. After his Lion comment earlier on, he's still up there, sitting currently P5 on lap 6. And let it be said as well, Grant still running P9. He's been running P9 for a few laps in between the safety car as well. But it's in this lap. Lights are out, so we will go racing again. So how will ZGS restart it this time? Will Trem be hot on his heels, or will he change his go point?
So as they head down this back straight now, severe collision for Woolsey, who picks up a 5-second penalty, with NUFC fan Liam, who also picks up the pen there as well. So unfortunate for those two drivers. ZGS looks to have already gone again. Yep, so going nice and early into the chicane at full speed.
A slide on the exit,
but holds it together, and he's pulled out a second straight away on Trem in the Red Bull, and Trem's got Wheeler and James Punt for company very close behind him indeed. He needs to keep an eye on the Mercedes driver just behind him, it should be said.
I think James Punt preempted when ZGS was going to go there and was right on the accelerator pedal as soon as he could be. Sector 1, yellow flag as they all peel through. No, we've got
Landcam's off the track there. So another driver off the track, it seems, but no safety car this time, luckily, because it was getting a bit tedious. Trem has to give the position in the end to James Punt. Good move there from James to get himself into second position, and now can hunt down the AlphaTauri of ZGS. Granty Boy making moves as well, heading into the final sector here. He's got Willis to try and get round next, but he's got traffic straight away ahead of him with Butters.
Here comes that battle, Tom. Trem versus Wheeler. It's that battle we were talking about. Meanwhile, Grant going up on the outside of Willis. Is he going to get the move done?
Always close to the wall there, but he's going to hold it together. And it looks like he is going to beat Willis out for the position in the end. He's just ahead of him heading down into this main straight. Willis, in the end, does end up behind Grant. So, yeah, does get the move done. Wheeler and Butters having their own little battle. Butters on the inside line heading into the chicane there. But Wheeler does manage to hold it together. Butters coming back, though, trying to get the inside line going into turn 1 here. He is going to have the jump on Wheeler and does get ahead of him into turn 1. So good work there from the Renault driver, but now Wheeler's going to come back, get the inside line going into turn 2. Oh, this is back and forth stuff. Grant's a benefitter here. Not quite just yet, I don't think. I think he's going to wait until it opens up a little bit to make a move. But fantastic racing there between the AlphaTauri and the Renault driver, both of which have penalties, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, Grant looking like he was going to get involved there, but I think he backed out. He knew
he's going to get the move done here instead, I think, because Buttons has just gone off the track ever so slightly, and that's opened the door for Willis as well to gain a position on the Renault driver. So now Granty will hunting down AlphaTauri of Wheeler, and then he's got his teammate ahead of him to take as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sketchy race, this one. But Grant has set the fastest sector 2 time as we speak. Wheeler looking to be a bit defensive if he can. Remember, there's no DRS in the wet race conditions, so it will all be down to ERS. But Grant has got one hell of a slipstream on Wheeler. He's going to have the inside line.
He's going to get through here before we get to the turn. Good work there from the Red Bull driver.
Fantastic, yeah, very late on the brakes. Wheeler sticking with him though. Wheeler looking like he could potentially stick with Grant here.
Fastest lap from James Punt then, setting a 1:25 in the wet. Very good round here indeed. Only to be bettered by Joseph Morales, 1:23.9. So quick.
Who we should say was at the back of the grid not that long ago, and he's now up to P12. So he's putting some effort in, and he's really picking his heels up here. He's just catching up to the team McLaren cars of D. Lawson and NUFC fan Liam as well.
So Trem lets his teammate go through then and cedes third position to Granty Boy, so he can now start to hunt down the race leader, ZGS. He's got James Punt to get ahead of first.
Joseph Rados is on the attack on D. Lawson as well, and he's got a little bit of traffic up ahead of him. Got Liam, Lawson and Butters as well. In fact, there's moves happening up ahead. NUFC fan Liam taking Butters along with Mogi as well.
NUFC fan Liam holding it together on the inside there, and it looks like if Lawson can get a good exit out of that turn, he might have the run on Butters as well. So Lawson trying to get the slipstream, it seems, on the Renault driver. Will he be able to get anything done before this final turn? I don't think he will, but if he gets a good exit here, he could have a good run on him into turn 1. So we'll keep on board with Lawson then as he tries to get this move done on the Renault driver. Will he try and risk it down here into turn 1, maybe get late on the brakes? No, he won't. He'll stick behind him and not quite take the risk just yet.
Once again, we've got 4 or 5 cars battling for that last points position, because you've got Ethan Patterson sitting behind Joseph Rados as well, who's right behind the team McLarens and that Renault. So you've got...
Should be said, Granting Boy has just taken the lead from ZGS as well, more importantly, at the top of the grid. Didn't take him too long at all to pass the AlphaTauri and the Mercedes of ZGS and James Punt. So good work there from the current SlyDog champion.
Yeah, he's once again looking dominant, looking at the standings that were posted on Facebook earlier on from last week's event. The gap at the top of the table is now over 100 points clear for Grant, so he is already come round 10, made one hell of a dominant impact. I think he's won best part of 8 races in a row now.
Yep.
All big lock up from Joseph Rados, letting Patterson through as well. So Ethan Patterson makes a position. D. Lawson looking like he's going to capitalise on the grass. Joseph Rados fends him off a little bit violent there. Only loses the 1 position somehow, Joseph there. He ran really deep into the hairpin, wide on the exit.
We've got Albert and Lawson as well. Albert manages to get the position for 13th on Lawson. So we saw Albert obviously pitting, was in last place under the safety car, already up to 13th. So good work there from the Racing Point driver. We've got the famous battle between Wheeler and Trem going on in 5th and 4th position as well. So keep an eye on that.
Up the inside of Marados, if you have a little look at the 2 guys there.
Yep, we're on it. Albert's having a good look there, but he's had to back out as they head round this tight section of the track. Maybe where it opens up coming into the what would be the second DRS zone round here. Maybe we'll have another look.
Yes, indeed, yes. So that battle between Trem and Wheeler, how's that looking just up ahead? It looks like Wheeler is all over the rear end of that Red Bull.
He is, yeah. He's not not giving it up easy. He's going to try and get this 4th position off of Trem, so then maybe he can have a run at the Mercedes ahead of him. Trem sends it wide into that hairpin there, but does manage to hold on to the position just. But will Wheeler be able to get a good run on him here into the final turn? I don't think he's going to be able to get a move done here unless he can get a very good exit out of this turn and maybe into turn 1.
Grant sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:22.013, so insanely quick around this circuit in the wet as well.
So I would say sort of Wheeler isn't out at the shout of the podium here, and neither is Trem, because it's only 2 seconds for them to make up over James Punt, and we've got 6 laps to go. So, you know, if one of them can maybe break away or clear the other, then we could be in with a good fight here for the final podium position.
And I'm just going to put it out there now.
Oh, Mogie's gone off the track there. Sorry, corner cutting, 3-second penalty. But he's trying to hunt down the Racing Point of Willis, so he's got a lot of work to do. Sorry, full time.
Leeds 1, Liverpool 1. So once again,
well done,
another shocking result.
Yeah, well on Leeds.
European Super Cup, you're having a fucking laugh, aren't you? Anyway, we race
they're like,
oh, you got Canada.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after, but yeah, frustrating. How are you going to beat Madrid when you can't beat Leeds? Anyways, another conversation. Battle still going on between Trem and Wheeler then. That gap has been consistently around the half a second mark on the last couple of laps around here. But Wheeler really struggling to find the gap to get the move done, although it looks like this might be his opportunity as Trem has a little wobble out of the final turn.
This is it, Wheeler slightly on the grass, breaking late into turn 1. Is he going to get the move done? He runs deep onto the grass for turn 2.
Oh, contact there. Trem goes into the back of Wheeler, trying to get the move done, but unfortunately just only ends up costing himself potentially more positions, as he's going to have damage to contend with.
Luke just behind Trem though. There's Nick. He's lurking in that racing point. Trem damaged now to the front end.
Here comes the lion.
Here comes the lion. He smells blood.
Let's go, Mufasa.
Speaking of lions and tigers are not the same, but Frank Frennett's definitely there in his living room, bouncing around with a pint of tiger right now.
Loving it.
And here comes the move.
But Willis has got a bit wide, and he's given up the chance to get one over on Trem. I think there.
Oh, he's lost 2 positions potentially out of that. Both the Williams attacking. Oh, look at it.
He's not giving it up easy, to be fair to Willis, but he has lost the position in the end, and he might even lose another one here to NUFC fan Liam if he's not careful.
Oh, gets a bit too much power down, gets a little bit of a slide going. NUFC fan Liam slips it up the inside.
We jinxed him proper there, didn't we?
We really did. It was the hyenas of the pack just stripping past that line.
ZGS has come into pit, as of Joseph Morados. Now, normally with a wet race, it normally gives you the option to stick on the tyre for the whole of the race, pretty much. But ZGS has gone and put on the intermediate tyre. So obviously, feeling conditions have improved a little bit.
That's an interesting call. Meanwhile, Trem has stayed out on the circuit. He's under attack from both the Williams of Mogi and Butler. So
he's definitely got damage. I mean, you can see his right end plate is missing on that front wing, and you saw a bit flick off as well.
This is going to be one hell of a look at how much movement there is in that Red Bull there as he tries to weave it around the final turns of Sector 1.
Patterson as well having a good battle with NUFC fan Liam in the background. Should keep an eye on that too. But so far, Trem doing very well to defend here. We should say there's a rather lot of penalties, happening on the track, so we'll try and keep you up to date with that as well. Mogi smells the subway, says Darren Jacobs, and he's smelling the subway now, heading down into the hairpin as he gets the inside line on Trem, and he is that much closer to his meatball marinara.
That is the sight of the night there.
Or steak and cheese. Steak and cheese is good as well. He's got 5 seconds to make up, though. I mean, 5 seconds to make up on 3 laps left of this race. It might just be slipping away.
This could be the tensest moment of the evening. Darren Jacobs there. What do you reckon Mogi's going to go for, Darren?
Look at this battle. Sorry, going into turn 1. About 4 cars involved.
Holy monkeys.
Trem, Butler, NUFC fan, Liam and Patterson. More wing goes flying for someone. I didn't see who that was. Was it Trem?
That's Trem. He's missing both end plates now.
Oh, Wheeler's pit. Or Wheeler's gone off or something. Mogi's in the podium.
Mogi has got the podium. Italian BMT, it's happened.
Italian BMT, steak and cheese. Maybe Italian herbs and cheese.
Darren says steak and cheese. Please, Darren.
Oh, hang on. No. Butler's just taken 3rd place.
Oh.
And Mogi's slipping down. This is tense.
Oh, my Lord.
If only Subway was on offer every week, I think this is where it would really enhance the competition.
Desperation. There's another place lost as well. Patterson getting involved as well. Ethan's come through. Mogi down to P6 from P3.
Oh, no, got him. So within the space of half a lap, he's gone from steak and cheese to just
cars off.
Block of cheese in the fridge. Who we got off?
Butler and Ethan have come together at the hairpin. Mogi back up to P4.
And with penalties, he might be in with a shout here still.
Oh my Lord, this has just exploded.
It's just exploded. I mean, Imola was good on the weekend, but this is something else.
Into pit lane. Mogi's had to come into the pits. So that could be it. Man. That could be it for the Subway. Darren, you'll have to get him on next week. Darren's going to have to come back next week because I can't see this happening with 2 laps to run.
What's happened? He's just... Butler was just taken out big time, says Frank Frennett. Well, we were focused on Subway Wars, so we missed that. But yeah, Butler's into the pits as well, it seems. Mogi into the pits. Oh, there it goes. There goes your meatball marinara. There goes your nachos and your little bites they're doing now. Maybe some cookies.
Chaos there for a couple of seconds. I'm just going to have a little look back on the footage as they run up to the hairpin.
Just the coffee now. Yeah, maybe a black Americano, which is just an Americano, to be fair. No sugar. Patterson having to fend off ZGS then. ZGS looking to make a move on the Renault driver and does get a move done. But Patterson later on the brakes has to send it deep into that corner, cuts it a little bit, but does hold on to the position. Should be said, Patterson has a large amount of penalties. I've now got that up on the screen for you, so you can see exactly what penalties everyone is running. Patterson's gone really wide there, and he's hit the wall, and he's going to lose a bunch of positions. He does have wing damage, definitely now.
He had wing damage beforehand, but I think it was Patterson that may have come together with Butler in the previous lap. So we see Grant in the pit lane. There's now a 5-second gap there between himself and James Punt. And Joseph Mrados, from right down the order, finds himself
in third.
P3.
Oh, it's all happening. I'm struggling to keep up. So many people are diving into the pits. I don't quite get it. It's like the last lap. Why are we heading into the pits, guys?
That's what it is now. I think it's just for the Inters. I think the track is starting to dry out, but this late on in the race, it seems like a silly option.
Yeah, because you're just going to give up
and James
all
Punt
those
spun
positions.
it in second.
Oh, we can see him off the track. Can't see any damage, but he's lost second place. Will he lose the podium?
He just lost it coming around. I think that is why we're seeing so many people dive into the pit lane, because it is too dry for those wet tyres. They are going off quickly now. He needs to try and find a wet line. ZGS looking to make the move to P3. Won't quite get it done. Backs out through the chicane. And James Punt
you got
just
Lawson punting down as well. But James Punt hasn't got any penalties, which is rather important.
Lawson!
And ZGS that's just spun off. Albert trying to get ahead of James Punt as well. Cool, this is madness. Where's Mogi? Is Mogi back in the podium yet? No, okay.
No, it looked like Albert just came flying through and just clipped the front end of ZGS.
Gutted.
And we've now got DRS.
We've now got DRS.
Today.
So Lawson now finds himself into third position, but no, with penalties, he's still going to be safe for third, I should think. Because James Punt is that... Oh no, James Punt isn't that far away. Oh, we just have to wait and see what happens when they cross the line at this rate. I can't keep up.
It's just
this has been too much.
Albert is all over the back of Lawson. James Punt's still cracking on. Mogi's retired.
Mogi's out. He's like, I'm not getting a Subway. There's no point. Subway's gone.
Osborne coming into the pits. A lot of people in pit lane now with damage. You see M. Willis off the road again. Those wets are giving up.
ZGS out as well. He's the guy we just saw take a bit of contact from Albert. No surprise there. Albert and Lawson are having this battle on the final lap though. Although Lawson has the position on penalties, just needs to keep it together. And at the moment he's holding it together against a very quick Racing Point. But the Racing Point does send it up the inside there. Lawson gets the better exit though and gets just ahead of the Racing Point driver. So it looks like the on-track position is going to see Lawson gain the podium anyways, unless a move can be done in the final turn here, but I don't think it will be. So solid drive there from Joseph Mirados, who finds himself in second position after all the shenanigans up front. Lawson then takes your final podium position. Good work there from the McLaren driver. No, he doesn't. Albert takes the position. I got my penalties completely wrong there, but good work. I'm pretty sure Albert had more penalties than Lawson. What's happened there?
This was my thought, exactly, yeah. I thought Albert had slightly more penalties, but...
VAR, replay the stream. Just tell me I wasn't seeing things there.
Yeah, that was a bit confusing. Hang on, bear with me. Let's have a look.
I'll bear with you. Should be said further down, we've got NUFC fan Liam finishing an impressive 5th. Butler, after many incidents there, finishes 6th. Willis, solid race from the other Racing Point driver, Willis, to get some points here in 7th place. The two Mercedes finish 8th and 9th, and Wheeler, who we saw involved in a couple of incidents, and some very close battles with Trem in 10th, rounding out the points positions. So, good luck making head or tail of what just happened.
Yeah, it's. I'm just watching this section back here. Currently, Lawson is on 6 seconds of penalties, Albert on 9, as they were coming round into Sector 2. Now, I don't know if I can, on this somehow, just go slightly further along.
I mean, you can't take it away from Granty Boy again. You know, he's gone last to first.
I mean, that was impressive. You can't knock how impressive that was. But
Yep.
equally impressive was the fact that at one point Joseph Marados did drop to the back of the grid after the start of the race. So after that, at the end of that first, he made a 2-stop and dropped to the back. And equally, Albert made 4 pit stops in that race.
Wow. Right. Driver of the day. I think we're settled on Joseph.
I think it should be. I think he's done a fantastic job. And I'm just trying to find the end of this stream here, Tom. Bear with me.
Yeah, no worries, no
So,
worries.
Lawson coming into the final turn has 6 seconds to Albert's 9.
I didn't see him go off track. I didn't see him suddenly get a penalty pop up on the screen.
And that's how it finishes. But Albert somehow jumps him. So I'm not sure quite what's happened there. So,
And
on the
even
stream,
on the final standings here, it even lists that Albert had 9 seconds, Lawson had 6. So that might be something to keep an eye out on. But we're a little bit confused there, but I'm sure that will be cleared up in the coming days with all the race reports. Plenty to clear up, I should think, in the coming days with that race. Jesus Christ,
I mean,
that's crazy.
It was just so quick how those wet tyres went off so fast at the end. It was just drying up so quickly that the intermediate tyres were the ones to have towards the end. Fantastic. That was just action-packed towards the end. Fantastic race.
Yep. If everyone could be like that, then yes, please, more of that. And I think there should be that incentive for drivers at Subway. That really,
That hotted things up, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love food, so that's the way to my heart. If you want to make something more interesting,
That really did hot it up. Driver of the day then for Canada. What are we saying, Tom? Are we going for
Joseph?
Joseph? Yeah, 100%.
Solid drive to find himself in second there.
Yeah, fantastic work. But I mean, I'm looking forward to next week. I hope Darren joins us next week and we can tempt Mogi some more because it was making for some exciting racing there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's as I say, it spurred him on in some places, and it looked like he was going to get it, and then it just sort of tailed out towards the end.
It was just all happening towards the end there. It was just excitement.
So next week we are Abu Dhabi and Italy. So
yes, we
Yas
are
Marina and Monza.
The Temple of Speed.
Yeah,
so to be fair, two good races for rounds 11 and 12. Darren says he'll be around. That's cracking. I'm looking forward to that.
Getting a bit of
maybe we'll tempt him. What should we tempt him with next week, Darren? Maybe a Taco Bell or a Five Guys. I don't know what's around your area. Could be anything. Could be anything really. I mean, I'd be happy with a KFC, to be fair.
Oh man, they're doing that 80-piece popcorn chicken bucket.
Damn straight, finger licking.
See you next week, unless there's a SlyDog Super League. Ooh, controversial.
Ooh. I mean, it depends how much money's in it for us, Tom.
Yeah, I'm only going for the money. I mean, I want triple, quadruple pay. If I'm joining any sort of Super League, all right.
Yeah, although I do feel that we should be in some form of Super League, us two here, because the effort is outstanding. The beer drinking is next level.
Second to none.
And, the commentary is somewhat average.
Lacking.
Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining us, everybody. I think that probably just about rounds out, rounds 9 and 10, Hungary and Canada. Both races won by the current champion Grant. When will it stop, Tom? When will it stop?
The domination is just too much. Is it now 8 in a row?
I think it's more than that. I think it's best part of 9.
Have a little gander, 2 seconds, because I've got the race results from previous here as well. Where are we? So he has now won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 8 in a row.
It is 8.
But he has won 9 out of the 10 that we've had so far.
Yeah, so be interesting to see exactly what can be done. Who can stop him? There's got to be someone there. Anything can happen on a reverse grid, as we saw in previous races. So
it should be said next week as well.
Oh, let's hear it. He's in the chat. Come on, Grant. In a minute, I think what's going to happen, Tom, is we're going to have to get on the circuit and show him how it's done.
I mean, you can. I ain't putting down that challenge. I know my worth. I know it's all about the words for me, and not necessarily about what I can do on track.
I challenge him to a game of Call of Duty instead.
Oh, mate, we'd ruin him on Call of Duty. I'm putting that out there. Destroy him. 1v1 Rust.
Right, anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look, he's seen it. Oh, I've seen you race. Oh,
Really big bollocks. All right, calm down.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
Cool. I think that's a good time to end it before this gets out of hand.
I think that is. Anyways, ladies and gents, we will see you next time for rounds 11 and 12 of the SlyDog Racing League, Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina, and the Temple of Speed, Monza, Italy. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Oh, about time.
I just wanted to delay it. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.